Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about the entire crypto market, so let's just dive in. And let's start with this tweet that I sent out yesterday. It was when everything was really kind of breaking down in the market and we seen a massive crash happening from the FTX situation. And I said this is one big show for the regulators, pre-planned, cause as much panic and fear around crypto as possible. Have regulators jump in like they are saving the day. This is not good at all and will only bring strict regulations that could stifle this market's growth. And we do see over here from Star OKG. And
Is that you have
sorry, that was H-bar post down there. But we do see if unfortunately FTX becomes another Luna, nobody in the industry can benefit from the accident, including Binance. Both customers and regulators will lose some confidence about the whole industry. I hope CZ can think about stop to sell FTT and make a new deal with SBF. But again, when we really kind of look at this, we know what unfolded throughout the entire day on the 8th. It only led to basically a massive crash and a full-on collapse of FTX. Now, with all of this, like I said, this is all a big play around regulations. It's very similar to the Luna situations, very similar to Celsius, Voyager, all that kind of stuff. And it's all playing into strict regulations, which is not good at all. In fact, there was a draft of a DeFi killing bill that got leaked back in October. Now, yes, this was with Sam Bankman-Fried, actually. He was a part of this entire bill, as we do see down here. But both Coinbase and FTX centralized entities have drawn criticism for supporting a bill that has been interpreted as a threat to the decentralized protocols in the industry, such as those that power decentralized exchanges like Uniswap. A lot of these centralized entities do not want competition at all, and decentralized exchanges, they're some of the largest grossing exchanges out there that do have a ton of value and volume that get pushed over them. Uniswap is a big one, and Uniswap has been a big one for a while. But the interesting thing here, right, is that Sam Bankman-Fried for a while has been lobbying against the entire crypto scene, but he was playing a role, in my opinion. Very similar to other individuals in the space too. They seem like they are good for the space, but they're just not. In my opinion, this entire event, I should call it more than a situation. It really kind of just gave them the ammo that they need. I completely agree with what Credible Crypto is saying here. Like, man, the regulators are going to hit hard after this. We have given them all the ammo they need on a silver platter, and it has been. It really started back in May. Ever since May, it's been a regulator's like wet dream. Every single thing that has happened since May, including the Terra Luna crash, has given them everything that they need to say, okay, crypto is way too volatile. This market is way too early in its infancy. We need to stop the retail sector from being hurt by, these investments. So what can we do? And it's going to be like that for a little bit of time. And we've seen this happen with Terra Luna. Now, we do see over here from Johnny Deaton 1, the temptation from events like this or like these is to call for a heavy-handed regulation. This would just make the problem of crypto companies and crypto users going overseas worse. And yes, it would push them outside of the US, but you got to remember, what happens when you see global regulations that are kind of supporting the same agenda. Like, there's a lot of issues with this. And by the way, if you guys missed it, Brian Armstrong put out an entire thread. I think it's like 13. So it does talk about the sympathy that he has for everyone involved in the situation with FTX. Coinbase doesn't have any material exposure to FTX or FTT. We don't really know about that. He also says that there's no exposure to Alameda. Again, we don't know. I think it's important to reinforce what differentiates Coinbase in a moment like this. This event appears to be the result of risky business practices, including conflicts of interest between deeply intertwined entities and misuse of customer funds, lending user assets. Now, they do go on to mention a few things, but mainly they do mention the U.S. They also mention, public audited financials, things like that they are really kind of looking at, and also, really kind of focused on, being very transparent with. And this also shows how they hold customer funds and things like that. I still never trust any of these exchanges, including Coinbase. In fact, Coinbase is one of those exchanges that I definitely will never hold any money on. Not because I don't trust them or anything like that. I don't trust any of these centralized exchanges. I don't really care if the exchange has been around for 10 years, 20 years. To me, it's very similar to like a bank. I don't trust a bank either. I don't trust any of these centralized entities at all. And again, when we really kind of look at this, it's all centered on, regulations, since they are, mainly a US based, this is a US based company. So they need to play into everything around regulations. They do mention DeFi and self-custodial wallets and stuff like that. But again, to me, I do support DeFi. I think DeFi could be a great opportunity for this market if done well. But the problem is, yeah, I do think that there needs to be regulations. I still think that there needs to be some type of, protective layer there for retail, but, at what cost? Because when you look at regulations, we could have, over-regulating. We could have regulations that do stifle innovation as well as growth. To me, what we will see from these events is over-regulation as well as regulation that is negative for the entire space. And by the way, we do see over here, it has already kind of broken out. Sam Bankman-Fried was the face of crypto in DC. What would FTX's acquisition mean for regulation? And they do mention, a little bit more around this, really kind of going in depth on strict regulation, stuff like that. But yeah, for the longest time, Sam Bankman-Fried was like the JP Morgan of crypto, they were comparing him to, which is it's pretty interesting. But this is definitely damning for the entire crypto industry's reputation. And I mean, this was an empire that he was building. We mentioned this. We talked about this. In fact, we talked about this like a week ago or so, where I was talking about how he was trying to acquire another company. I forgot what the company name was, but he was trying to expand rapidly. And I do think that I think that they overstretched their boundaries. And I do think that when we really kind of look at regulations and stuff like that, we're seeing a lot of talks about regulations, but we need proper ones to actually be ushered in. We need a proper regulatory framework. We've been looking at some of the companies within this space, like Ripple, as well as some other major companies that are kind of coming together and working on frameworks. I think that will be very beneficial for the space. We definitely have to wait and see. But the thing that worries me is that there's just so much examples that they could utilize now to bring in regulations that will crack down on crypto. And ultimately, it could stifle growth. It could stifle crypto for a while. We do see over here, going all the way back to May, Terra's UST crash will make life harder for crypto as regulation looms. We do see over here, Yellen renews call for stablecoin regulation after Terra USD stumble. This goes back to May 10th. And we even do see over here as well, June 7th, senators introduce bill to completely overhaul U.S. crypto regulation. And by the way, I would definitely highly suggest you guys look at what Loomis is trying to do around crypto. Her bills are absolutely terrible. They're centered on Bitcoin being the only winner around this space, and honestly, her bills are terrible for crypto. So we definitely want crypto regulation done internally. I think that these companies that are actually utilizing crypto on a day-to-day basis, like Ripple, being a main player behind the show, would be great. I think that would be greatly not only appreciated from anyone that is a part of crypto, but it should be something that we welcome. And we do see over here as well. This goes all the way back to May 15th. Plunging crypto values boost calls for regulations. Again, this is all going to be one big show. Tomorrow, like later today, I should say actually, we're going to see a lot of discussions around regulations. We're probably going to see a lot of announcements, things like that. The biggest thing to me is that everyone is extremely panicky right now around crypto, and it does definitely call for a little bit of concern. What I have been looking at is the total. We have been kind of ranging on some solid support here, which is very good for us. One thing that I have to mention is the fact that going off of the all-time high here at about like $3 trillion to where we recently came down to back in June, this was about a 75% correction. Currently, we were down just today from the all-time highs about like 73 or so percent. And this is major support, by the way. This is going all the way back to the yearly support of 2021. But one thing to me that's very interesting around crypto is where this market could head to if the value proposition behind these protocols, these projects, etc., are realized. We talk about this a lot with XRP. We talk about it a lot with Casper, HBAR, etc. A lot of tokens that we talk about on this channel. The value behind them is substantial, but the problem is that you won't see it. It won't be realized in without proper regulations. I think that as we really kind of look at things happening around this space, one thing to me that kind of concerns me is that we see an opportunity of a lifetime in front of us. In my opinion, when we look at crypto under a $1 trillion market cap, it's essentially laughable. And it hasn't taken too long to actually achieve this $1 trillion market cap. I mean, going all the way back to 2017, 2018, we topped out at a little bit less than $1 trillion. And when we broke up above $1 trillion, it made mainstream media news, and that was all the way back in January of 2021. It didn't take too long for us to actually hit that, but the crazy thing is how fast we added another trillion to that in such a short amount of time. I mean, we added $1 trillion to crypto in terms of the market cap valuation in 1 quarter alone. This is the amount of not only adoption there is for crypto, but interest as well. I really do think that when we look at the value proposition behind crypto, I mean, crypto could easily be a $10+ trillion market cap within the next 3 to 5 years, and I would argue that it could even be the next major cycle. But it could even balloon much, much higher. But the problem is that if we have regulations that are going to sit here and utilize these events as examples, and these events are not, good at all. Like, trust me, this is not, an event that we could just kind of, brush away and say, oh, it was just nothing. No, like, this event was extremely harmful for the entire industry. It did not benefit anyone at all, including, CZ or any other individual that kind of benefited off of the acquisition. It was not good at all for the entire space. And I said that they are going to utilize this as a major example to bring in strong regulations that could ultimately kill crypto. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe to notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. This is up to you all. Have a beautiful day, beautiful night, wherever you guys are on this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.